She slapped her blind date, then discovered his amazing secret: I deserved that after 5 years. The diner bustled with the scent of brewed coffee and warm pie, but Sarah's heart raced like a runaway train. At 37, she was a single mother doing her best to juggle it all: endless shifts as a waitress and her strong-willed teenager, Lily. Tonight, she was on a blind date, courtesy of her bubbly best friend, and doubt gnawed at her. Could this man change anything, or was she just setting herself up for disappointment? As she slid into the booth, she spotted Tom, an unassuming man with tousled hair and kind eyes. But his smile faded when he made a careless comment about needing a real job. Fire ignited in Sarah. She felt the heat of indignation flood her cheeks, her grip on the table tightening. What did he know about her struggles? Without thinking, she slapped him a hard crack that echoed through the diner. Silence fell. All eyes were on them, gasps rippled through the room like waves, patrons paused mid-bite. Sarah's heart hammered in her chest, panic flashing across Tom's face. But in that charged moment of embarrassment, frustration, and vulnerability, something shifted. As she sat there, her breathing rapid and shallow, she noticed a flicker of understanding in his gaze. Maybe it was time to air out deeper emotions they had both brushed aside. Why did you say that? She challenged, her voice trembling slightly, a blend of anger and hurt. Tom sighed deeply, his expression softening. I didn't mean to belittle you. I meant I've had to learn to find value in what I do. He paused, his brow furrowing. I lost my sight in an accident a few years back. I volunteer at the local vet center. It gives me purpose. It's about trying, you know. The honesty of his words struck Sarah like thunder. It unveiled the layers of her own buried battles. She had spent countless nights working her fingers to the bone, sacrificing sleep to keep Lily fed and cared for, and yet she often felt invisible, unrecognized like a shadow in the small town. How could she have dismissed someone who could offer such strength? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Tom drew in a breath, a quiet determination in his tone. I'm not going to pretend it's easy. But we can keep dreaming. We just have to adjust our sights. Suddenly, their stories began to intertwine. The moments filled with laughter over shared experiences, and even tough revelations combined to create a newfound connection. As they shared their fears, their regrets, and their hopes, the weight of judgment melted away. Yet, as the evening began to darken, lingering tension loomed. Did Sarah have it in her heart to move past the sharp introduction, and could Tom expose his struggled past enough to risk it all again? The spark between them felt electric, but would they recognize the significance of this moment or let it fade into memory? Their eyes locked, awaiting the answer. Could they both rise from their pasts? The air in the diner started to shift, thick with unspoken words and possibilities. Sarah felt the tension melt as they both relaxed a little, the anger dissipating, replaced by something deeper: curiosity, even admiration. She hadn't expected this evening to take such a turn. Tom's vulnerability drew her in, like a lighthouse in a storm. Tell me more, Sarah urged, her voice softer now. About your work. You said volunteering gives you purpose. That's a beautiful thing. Tom's face lit up, his smile returning with a hint of pride. It really does. At the vet center, I'm not just sitting in darkness. I help heal animals, you know. It's amazing how they just instinctively know when you're there for them. His hands moved animatedly, and Sarah caught herself leaning in, captivated. Every day, I find new ways to navigate my world. It's challenging, but I wouldn't trade these lessons for anything. His words struck a chord. She thought about the struggles of her own life, how she powered through shifts while also attending every PDA meeting, barely managing to keep Lily happy and involved. Dreams that once seemed vibrant were now faded sketches. "I sometimes feel like I'm just surviving," she admitted quietly, her own vulnerability surfacing. Tom nodded, a deep understanding in his eyes. "I get that. We all carry burdens that others might not see. But sharing them, it lightens the load, doesn't it?" A flicker of hope ignited inside her. Could this man, this stranger sitting across from her, understand the weight on her shoulders? "I want to be more than just a waitress, you know. Sometimes, I feel trapped." Tom leaned back, his gaze thoughtful. "What would that more look like for you?" She paused, allowing the thought to settle. "I used to dream of being an artist. But bills come due, and dreams take a back seat." The regret in her voice was palpable. "Why not pick it back up? You could take a class, paint on weekends. Every little bit counts," he suggested, his excitement contagious. "Your dreams don't have to die just because life gets busy." A small smile crept onto her face. This was a side of herself she hadn't accessed in years. "Maybe you're right. Maybe I could find a way back to it." The conversation flowed from there, each word weaving a thread of connection. The laughter that erupted between bites of pie felt like a warm fire on a cold night. Time slipped away as they shared memories of childhood, hopes for the future, and even the ridiculous things their children did, finding unexpected common ground in their joys and trials. Yet, in the corners of her mind, fear lurked. This moment felt too good to be true. Would it last beyond this diner? Would she have the courage to embrace change, not just for herself but for Lily too? As they wrapped up the evening, Sarah's heart raced with a mix of elation and anxiety. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was at a crossroads. In this simple diner illuminated by neon lights, she had tasted the promise of something more, a connection that could change everything. But soon, the inevitable reality loomed. She would have to return to her life of juggling responsibilities and struggles. Could she truly embrace the hope Tom had instilled in her? As she stood to leave, regret washed over her at the thought of saying goodbye. "Can we do this again?" she asked, her voice trembling with urgency. Tom met her gaze, and in that moment, Sarah realized that she had just begun to uncover layers within both of them. The night was still young, and their paths had only just touched. "Definitely," he replied, his grin wide. "And next time, I'll pick the place." As she stepped out into the cool night air, a hope flickered anew in her chest. She felt lighter somehow, as if she had taken the first step on a journey that could change everything. But would she take the leap, or would fear anchor her back into her old patterns? The question lingered, the anticipation thrumming against her skin. As Sarah walked away from the diner, the cool breeze kissed her cheeks, and she let herself breathe in deeply. The stars twinkled above her, scattered like distant hopes amongst the velvet sky. It was strange to feel as if she were leaving behind not just the diner but also a part of herself that had been waiting to emerge. Her thoughts raced with memories of the laughter they shared, the way Tom's eyes sparkled when he spoke about his passion for animals. Yet, the closer she got to her car, the more doubt crept in, each step feeling heavier. What had just happened? Had they truly connected, or was it just a fleeting moment of warmth in an otherwise cold life? She could almost hear the echo of her responsibilities calling her back, the bills, the meal planning, Lily's soccer practice, all of it felt suffocating. She paused by her car, guilt washing over her. It wasn't fair to chase after hope while her daughter needed her focus. But the thought of being trapped in her routine, feeling invisible, sent ripples of sadness through her. Just then, her phone buzzed. The screen lit up with a text from Lily. "Mom, can you pick me up at Grandma's? I'm ready." A wave of love surged through her. That was her anchor, her reason for fighting through each day, wasn't it? As she drove to retrieve her daughter, she replayed her conversation with Tom over and over again in her mind. "Your dreams don't have to die." His voice rang strong and clear. Maybe he was onto something. What if she could paint again? What if she could somehow weave art back into her busy life? Arriving at her mother's house, Lily bounded toward her, all smiles and energy. "Mom! Look at this." She held up a clay sculpture she had made. It looked like a weird mix of a cat and a monster, but in her daughter's eyes, it was a masterpiece. "That's amazing!" Sarah exclaimed, her heart swelling with pride. "You know, I used to love painting when I was your age." Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Why don't you do it anymore?" The question hung in the air like a cloud, and Sarah stole a glance at her daughter. "I guess I got busy. But maybe I'll try again. I could paint with you." Lily squealed in delight, and for a brief moment, Sarah felt genuine freedom, like she was untethered from the weight of her daily grind. Yet, the doubts that had begun to lift now crawled back, whispering fears again. Would she have the time? Would life allow her the luxury to explore her passions? As they drove home, a mix of excitement and apprehension tightened in her chest. She glanced in the rearview mirror at Lily, who was absorbed in her own world, crafting stories about her clay creation. It suddenly occurred to Sarah that her daughter would benefit from seeing her mother chase after dreams not just surviving, but thriving. That evening, as they prepared dinner together, Lily prattled on about school and friends. Each story filled Sarah with warmth, but there was also a gentle nudge in her heart, a reminder of her own unfulfilled desires. "Maybe I can start small," she mused aloud, and Lily looked up, intrigued. "Like planning one painting a month, nothing too overwhelming." "That would be so cool. Can I help?" A wave of gratitude washed over her. Sharing joy. Bringing life back into the colors that faded. "Absolutely," Sarah smiled, feeling the stirrings of hope growing strong. Just then, her phone buzzed again. It was a message from Tom. "Hey, I had a great time tonight. Looking forward to the next adventure." Heart pounding, Sarah found herself grinning. What was it about his words that made her feel alive? Plans began to form in her mind, intertwining the thought of art with whatever lay in store for her and Tom. But just as quickly as the excitement rose, uncertainty crept back. What if this newfound hope was fleeting? What if she stumbled and fell back into her routine? With a deep breath, she decided there was no turning back now. Tomorrow would unveil new possibilities. As she settled her daughter into bed, Sarah's heart raced with anticipation for what was approaching. Could she really push through the self-doubt? Would she take this next step toward change and embrace what life had to offer? The answers felt like a leap into the unknown, and yet, for the first time in years, that leap did not seem so frightening. But as she closed Lily's door, she pondered the question that lingered in her mind: was she ready to open her heart again to someone like Tom, with all his kind-hearted enthusiasm? As if answering her unspoken question, Tom's message buzzed again, pulling her further into the swirling possibilities. They would meet again soon. And this time, she would be ready, wouldn't she? Morning light spilled into the kitchen as Sarah busied herself preparing breakfast. The smell of sizzling eggs and toast filled the air, mingling with soft laughter that drifted from the living room. Lily was watching cartoons, her giggles harmonizing with the upbeat music. For a moment, everything felt right. Yet, that kernel of hope was still mingled with uncertainty. The thought of painting had crossed her mind repeatedly, like a small flame flickering in the breeze. She couldn't recall the last time she felt a rush of creativity. Would she even remember how? Her hand twitched at the thought of grabbing a brush, but the weight of her life pulled her back down. What if she fell short? What if she didn't have time for this new adventure she was considering? "Mom!" Lily called, breaking her train of thought. "Can we make pancakes today?" A smile spread across Sarah's face. "Pancakes it is. But we need to make them special. How about we add in some chocolate chips? Or maybe make funny shapes?" Lily, with her eyes gleaming, nodded vigorously. "Yes. I want a cat pancake." The two whipped up the batter together, chatting and laughing. Each moment spent with Lily felt like a brushstroke filling an empty canvas, splashing colors into the mundane. But still, doubt lingered. Was this joy enough? Did she deserve to dream of more? After breakfast, Sarah encouraged Lily to gather her clay and paint supplies. "Let us create something together today. You inspire me." Lily jumped up, running to fetch her treasures, and soon the table was strewn with bright colors and playful sculptures. Sarah's heart swelled as she watched Lily work so diligently, mimicking the world around her. It reminded her of how alive she felt on those rare occasions when she poured herself into art. They painted and molded. Sarah heard a soft knock at the door. Her heart raced. It couldn't be Tom, could it? They hadn't set a time, and yet there was hope, like a heartbeat resounding in her chest. "Who is it?" Lily squeaked, looking up expectantly. "Let us find out," Sarah said, trying to mask her nervousness. She opened the door to find Tom leaning against the frame, a warm smile spreading across his face. "Hey. I hope I'm not interrupting," he said, taking in the scene. "Looks like a fun project you two have going on." "Not at all. We're just painting and making pancakes," Sarah replied, heart racing at the sight of him. "Want to join us?" Tom stepped hesitantly into the warmth of the house, and Sarah's breath caught as he walked in. His presence felt magnetic, grounding her swirling thoughts. "Chocolate chip pancakes?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. Who could say no to that? As they settled into the whirlwind of activity together, Sarah's heart lightened. She could feel the walls she had built around herself beginning to crack with laughter and playful banter. Tom and Lily instantly hit it off, sharing ideas and giggles like old friends. "You guys are so creative," Tom exclaimed as he admired their work. "I can't believe how much heart you both put into it." Lily blushed, handing Tom a brush. "You should totally help us. Maybe you can make a monster pancake." Sarah chuckled, and for a fleeting second, she felt a random spark of connection with Tom. It was there, hanging in the air, thick enough to cradle a dream. "I would love to," Tom replied, his eyes sparkling with joy. They worked side by side, creating something silly together, weaving laughter into the fabric of the day. As they flipped pancakes and painted imaginary worlds, Sarah felt alive. The self-doubt that had haunted her began to drift away like the steam rising from the hot griddle. Maybe, she thought, this is what it means to embrace life again. But as the laughter began to fade, she felt a pull of reality, a whisper that reminded her of the responsibilities waiting outside this joyful bubble. She looked down at her half-finished painting and then at Tom, who paused mid-laugh to catch her gaze. "Are you okay?" he asked, the sincerity in his voice piercing through her thoughts. That question hung there, heavy with every insecurities bubbling beneath the surface. Would she share her fears, or keep them buried? Sarah took a breath, the weight of her choices pressing on her shoulders. What would she say? In that moment, an unexpected decision loomed ahead, one that could change everything. "Maybe I'm just scared," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. As Tom's eyes searched hers, awaiting her next words, Sarah knew she was at a fork in her path. Would she take the leap and embrace her dreams, or let the fear hold her back once again? The stillness in the kitchen thickened, wrapping around Sarah like a warm blanket. Tom's gaze held hers, searching for something deeper. The air crackled with tension, like it was holding its breath, waiting for her to continue. She could feel the weight of his expectation bearing down on her, and for a moment, she thought about retreating, to retreat behind her carefully constructed walls again, but something fierce flickered within her, igniting a spark of courage. "I'm scared of opening up again. It feels risky. What if I fail? What if I get hurt?" Tom nodded slowly, the warmth still present in his eyes. "I get that, Sarah. I do. But you know what? Taking risks is how we find what we really want. Sometimes it's the only way to grow." His words hung in the air, resonating deep within her. She wanted to believe in that, believe in herself again, the artist, the dreamer. But that little voice of doubt crept back, whispering that she had been hurt before, why risk it again? Just then, Lily's giggle broke through the heaviness, pulling Sarah from her introspection. "Let's make the biggest pancake ever!" she exclaimed, practically bouncing on the balls of her feet. Sarah's heart warmed, watching her daughter so full of joy and carefree spirit. Maybe this was what she needed: joy, connection, a leap into the unknown. She looked from Lily to Tom, their faces alight with excitement, and a new sense of determination surged within her. "Okay, let's do it," she said, her voice stronger this time. "Let's make the biggest, silliest pancake ever." With that, the tension cracked, and laughter erupted again. They gathered around the griddle, pouring batter into a massive circle, trying their best to keep it from spilling. Sarah felt liberated as they raced against time and gravity, working together. Every flip, every laugh, turned into a lesson about letting go of fears, doubts, and expectations. As the golden pancake began to take shape, Tom caught her eye. "You're really good at this," he said, sincerity lacing his tone. "Your creativity shines, Sarah. It's inspiring." A blush crept on her cheeks, and for the first time, she didn't feel the need to downplay his compliment. Maybe he was right. Maybe she did have something to offer, and there was beauty in allowing herself to create, to laugh, and to connect again. "Thanks, Tom," she replied, her voice steadier as she poured out another ladle of batter. "It's been a while since I've felt this free. Painting makes me feel alive, you know." Tom nodded, a knowing smile spreading across his face. "Then paint, capture this moment, and your dreams. You can do it, I believe in you." His unwavering faith in her left Sarah breathless. Here was Tom, believing in her when she found it so hard to do it herself. She wanted to tell him that, to share her gratitude, but before she could form the words, the pancake was ready, a golden brown masterpiece that resembled a cat, complete with chocolate chip eyes. Lily cheered, the sound of her joy filling the kitchen like sunshine. "This is the best pancake ever." As they sat down to enjoy their creation, Sarah felt lighter. Laughter erupted once again, echoing off the walls, mingling with the flavors of the sweet pancake, but beneath all the joy, her heart thudded with an undeniable truth. This was just the beginning. She could feel the stirrings of a new dream, a longing for more than just pancakes and paintings. It lingered in the air, waiting patiently to be named, ready to transform her world. As they laughed together, a sudden thought dawned on her: what if this small step into vulnerability and this strange, vibrant connection with Tom could lead her somewhere unexpected? But would she have the courage to explore it? Just then, her phone buzzed on the table, breaking through the warmth they had cultivated. It was a message from her old gallery, a potential exhibition opportunity. Her breath caught, heart racing again, this time with a different kind of anxiety. Could this be the moment she'd been waiting for, or would fear hold her back once more? "Mom." Lily's voice cut through her thoughts, looking up with curious eyes. "What's wrong?" Sarah glanced at Tom, then back to her daughter, feeling two worlds collide within her. Would she share the news or keep it buried until she mustered the courage to dream again? Just a reminder of how much I still have to think about," she said, uncertainly. And as she said it, she couldn't shake the feeling that today was about to change everything. What if embracing this moment could unlock so much more? Would she dare to take the chance and discover her amazing secret concealed within? The kitchen buzzed with laughter as Lily dove into the pancake, a dollop of syrup dribbling down her chin. Sarah's heart swelled at the sight of her daughter, completely absorbed in the moment, joy illuminating her features. It was a picture that felt almost sacred, and Sarah found herself wishing she could capture this happiness with her brush. Tom watched them both, a smile playing on his lips. "You know," he said, breaking the warm bubble of laughter, "you should definitely take that opportunity with the gallery. Your art deserves to be seen, and you deserve to share it." The weight of his words settled in Sarah's heart, mixing with the sweet aroma of the pancake and the cheerful laughter of her daughter. The thought of stepping into the art world again made her stomach flutter with both excitement and fear. "It's just that, what if I'm not good enough? What if it's not what they're looking for? She admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Tom leaned closer, a determined glint in his eyes. What if you are? You won't know unless you try. You've been given a chance. Don't let fear dim your light. In that moment, Sarah realized how much she wanted to embrace this opportunity, not just for herself, but for Lily, too. She wanted her daughter to see that it was okay to take risks, to dream big, even when faced with uncertainty. Yet, a deeper fear gripped her. What if she failed again? Would she let her daughter down? Mom! Look! Lily exclaimed, her voice cutting through Sarah's spiral of thoughts. I made a pancake cat and a pancake dog. Her little fingers were smearing syrup across 2 plates, showcasing her creations. Each pancake was unique, characterized by the innocent whimsy of childhood. Sarah laughed, her heart lightening. Those are amazing, sweet girl. You're an artist, just like Mom. Yeah. A pancake artist. Lily jumped in her seat, her enthusiasm infectious. Tom chuckled, glancing between them. Just wait until you guys make a pancake dinosaur. You'd blow everyone away. Sarah felt a warmth spread through her as she exchanged glances with Tom, a blend of admiration and familiarity knitting them closer. It was an unspoken understanding that perhaps this moment was a gateway, a reason for her to lean into the unknown. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, cutting through their cheerful banter. Sarah picked it up, her stomach tightening as she saw another message from the gallery. A request for previous works. They were interested in seeing her style. Mom. Lily reached for her hand, her little fingers wrapping around Sarah's wrist. What's wrong now? Caught between worlds again, Sarah hesitated. Should she share the news? The thought of bringing Lily into her dream made her heart race. But she swallowed hard, keeping a brave face. It's nothing, just something I need to look at later. But deep inside, a flicker of excitement entwined with her fear. Could it be time to translate all this warmth and laughter into paint on canvas? It was bold and frightening, but for the first time in years, Sarah felt a little flicker of hope taking root. Tom stood, leaning against the counter. Whatever it is, you've got people to support you. Just remember, you don't have to do this alone. His eyes held hers, and Sarah could see the conviction there. The warmth returned, wrapping around her like the blanket of courage she'd just begun to find. Will you both come with me? She asked, her voice steadied. A grin split across Lily's face, while Tom nodded, of course. We'll be right there, cheering you on. With hearts buoyed by laughter and pancakes, an unspoken promise hung between them. As Lily started planning her next pancake project, Sarah knew she was building more than just a breakfast with them. She was laying the foundation to reclaim her spirit, but uncertainty still lingered, a shadow ready to rise. Was she truly prepared for what this opportunity might bring? The fear of failure gnawed at her, as did the fear of success. Was this the beginning of something wonderful or a stumbling block waiting to happen, as the sticky sweetness of syrup filled the air? Sarah felt the doors of possibility crack open, revealing whispers of what could be. The rhythm of the day pulsed with promise, but there was still one nagging question: would she dare to step forward and embrace her true self? And just as laughter erupted from the kitchen, Sarah realized a storm was brewing inside. Would she lock her heart away again, or would she take that leap into the unknown? The pancakes disappeared quickly, leaving syrupy fingerprints on the table. Lily giggled, swiping at the last drizzle with her fingers. Sarah watched her daughter with a smile, but her mind was still awash with uncertainty. The opportunity with the gallery felt like a tightrope walk. One misstep could send her tumbling. Yet, watching Lily's joyous creativity sparked something deep within Sarah, a distant memory of passion and belief. Do you think I should do it? She asked Tom softly, uncertainty lacing her words. Tom's response was immediate, filled with warmth. Absolutely. It's your time to shine. But, you have to believe in yourself first. His support wrapped around her like a warm embrace, yet the fear still hung on. Just then, the phone buzzed again, and her heart jumped. Another request from the gallery stared back at her through the screen, and the weight of it all felt heavier. "Mom! Can I help?" Lily jumped in, her voice a melody of cheer. She hopped up from her seat and placed her little hands on Sarah's shoulder. "I can be your assistant." The sweetness of Lily's offer pierced through the fog of doubt. "You would?" Sarah asked, a small smile breaking through. "Yeah. We can make pretty pictures together." Lily's eyes sparkled, wide and candid, every bit the picture of innocent hope. The thought of creating something alongside her daughter felt invigorating. Perhaps she could let Lily in on the process, showing her that dreams could be chased, even if they felt daunting. The idea of sharing her journey with Lily nudged at her heart, propelling her forward. "Okay, let us do it," Sarah declared, a surge of enthusiasm igniting her words. "But we need to make sure it includes you." She picked up her phone and typed a quick response, confirming she would send her works to the gallery. Lily squealed in delight. "Yay! Art party!" Tom rolled his eyes playfully. "There goes the kitchen. Brace yourself for a delightful mess." As the three of them began brainstorming, ideas ricocheted around the room, jumping out like colorful fireworks, bright and explosive. They bounced between drawings of pancake animals and paint splatters, their voices dancing in the air, filling the kitchen with a creative energy that felt electric. With each idea, Sarah felt the doubt slowly dissolve, replaced with a rhythm of excitement. She sat beside Lily, sketching simple shapes in a notebook, while Tom prepared a fresh batch of pancake batter. The smell of cooking pancakes brewed a sense of comfort. "Hey, what about a giant rainbow pancake?" Lily suggested, her eyes wide with enthusiasm. "Yes." Sarah grinned, nudging the crayon toward her daughter. Together, they drew large outlines, filled with color ideas and whimsical designs. There was laughter, playful debates over colors, and Lily's infectious excitement that made every moment feel significant, but beneath the laughter, uncertainty coiled tightly. Could she really deliver? Every time Sarah felt like she could brush aside doubt, it would creep back, relentless. She needed this to work. For herself. For Lily. And still, hidden underneath was the nagging fear of judgment. What would others say if it didn't meet expectations? As the morning shifted into afternoon, a canvas of new possibilities began to unfurl, not just of art, but of feelings and dreams. Just as the last pancake was flipped, Sarah looked at Tom, who watched the scene unfold with a supportive smile. "Thank you for being my anchor," she murmured. Tom met her gaze, understanding flickering in his eyes. "Always, Sarah. Just remember, this is about you and about what you love." With a heart full of conflicting emotions, Sarah stood at the cusp of something new, the energy of the day swirling around her. Could this really be the beginning of a transformation? But even amidst the blooming joy, a deeper question nagged at her. As she stared at the colorful drawings and the half-finished pancakes, she wondered what would happen if she truly poured herself into this. If she embraced not only the art but also the vulnerability that came with sharing it. The moment felt heavy with possibility. Just then, her phone dinged again with more inquiries from the gallery, this time more pressing. Would she have the courage to push through the fear, embrace her artistry, and reveal her heart? That ordeal awaited. The leap into the unknown loomed, beckoning her to step forward and take a risk, but would she really have the strength to see it through? The kitchen buzzed with energy as Lily and Sarah crafted their art, a flurry of colors and shapes splattered across paper, and laughter echoing against the walls. The smell of pancakes lingered like a warm hug, bringing a comforting backdrop to their creativity. But Sarah's thoughts wandered again to the gallery and the urgency brewing in her gut. Could she really do this? "Let us add glitter." Lily squealed, springing up from her chair, her excitement pulling Sarah back to the moment. "It will be magical." "Glitter?" "Yes. Magic it is." Sarah applied herself, a bead of exhilaration warming her heart, one that hadn't stirred in quite some time. She watched her daughter's enthusiasm unfold, and it filled her with hope. If Lily believed they could create something amazing, so could she. As they glued sparkles onto their pancakes, Sarah couldn't shake the weight pressing down doubts, fears, and the endless chatter from her mind. Would they sparkle like they hoped? Or would the glitter just fall flat, like years of dreams unpursued? Suddenly, Tom peeked into the kitchen, his presence easing the tension building in Sarah's mind. "Need a hand?" he asked, that familiar kindness in his voice. "Sure. You could help mix the colors," Lily chirped as she waved her paintbrush, smeared with bright hues. Tom joined them, immersing himself in the mess with a smile. The kitchen transformed into a chaotic artist's studio, paint splattered against the walls, and the counter held not only pancakes but also dreams taking shape. Watching Tom interact with Lily, Sarah felt a spark of gratitude. Here was a man who believed in them, who stood by her in moments of uncertainty. As the art party rolled on, Sarah took a deep breath. Each stroke of color began to wash away her anxieties. She felt lighter, free from the grip of her worries as she focused on creativity rather than expectations. Filling a blank canvas became a small act of rebellion against the fear that had held her hostage for too long. Within this quiet revolution, she found something herself. "Mom, look!" Lily exclaimed, holding up her glittery pancake painting with pride. "It's a happy pancake world." Sarah burst into laughter. "It's perfect. I love it." The moment was pure magic, and her heart swelled at the sight of their creation. But as the adrenaline passed and the day dimmed into evening, Sarah's thoughts flickered back to the gallery. She could compose vibrant pieces, but would they be enough? Her hands trembled as she glanced at the still glowing screen on her phone, the gallery messages glowing ominously, a reminder of the reality outside their bubble of creativity. "Mom. What's wrong?" Lily noticed the falter in Sarah's expression. "Oh, sweetie, nothing that a little more paint can't fix." Sarah forced a smile, but inside she was wrestling with her fears once again. Tom leaned in, reading the tension on her face. "Isn't it just the gallery?" he asked softly. "What does your heart say?" That question held so much weight. What if her heart said to leap, to let go? But what if it fell flat, swallowing hard? She replied, "Maybe it's time to let my heart show itself." Moments later, she gathered her courage. "Can you help me with something?" she asked Tom and Lily. Together, they would finish their masterpieces, but it felt much larger now. They were not just crafting art, they were living truth. As they prepared to take pictures of their creations, Sarah's heart raced. She could feel the electric charge of vulnerability and anticipation. "This is just the beginning," she whispered, catching Tom's gaze. "Then let us start with our own story," he urged gently, "one where you shine." With that, Sarah hit send on the gallery application, her heart pounding louder than ever. As the final pieces vanished into the ether, she couldn't help but wonder, would they believe in her as much as she finally began to believe in herself? Just then, an unexpected notification flashed across her screen, pulling her focus sharply. It was a reply from the gallery, and it simply read, "We'd love to hear more." Sarah's breath caught. What did that mean? The real leap was just beginning. The walls of the kitchen still carried the magic of their colorful day, but now a different kind of tension filled the air. Sarah stared at her phone, heart racing, trying to decipher the message. What could they possibly want to know more about? Was it enough just to show up, or did she need to prove something else? "Mom." Lily's voice broke through the fog. "Are we going to take pictures?" "Of course, honey. Let us capture our masterpieces," Sarah replied, trying to sound steady. She felt a surge of warmth when she looked at Lily's face, innocent and full of. This was about more than just her art, it was about them, about the light they created together. As they arranged the pancake paintings in the best light, Sarah couldn't shake off the nagging feeling in her gut. Tom noticed the shift. "Hey, you okay?" he asked, concern clouding his otherwise joyful demeanor. What if they don't like what I show them?" she whispered, suddenly feeling small again. Sarah, remember what you said? He insisted softly, wrapping his arms around her shoulders. This is your heart. It's true and beautiful, and it will resonate. Trust in that. His words warmed her, yet doubt lingered like a stray shadow. Okay. She finally said, determination flooding her voice. Let us make it count. With that, they crowded around the table, snapping photos of their creations, laughter and shouts of joy erupting in delighted chaos. Each click of the camera felt like a promise one she was willing to embrace, despite the uncertainty flickering at the edges of her heart. Once they finished capturing their creations, Sarah felt a rush of adrenaline again as she prepared to respond to the gallery. Her fingers hesitated over the screen, unsure. But before she could think too much, Tom leaned over and asked, "What do you want to say?" "I want to show them my story. Not just the art, but what's behind it, the joy, the struggles, everything," Sarah replied, staring into her phone as though the right words would materialize on the screen. "Then write that," Tom encouraged. "That's the real part. Share your heart." With a deep breath, she began to type. As she poured her emotions onto the screen, the weight upon her lifted. Each word felt like a stroke of paint on a canvas, vibrant and alive. She shared her journey, the magic of motherhood, and how creating art had reignited her spirit. "Send it," Tom prompted, watching her closely. "I'm ready," she said, surprised by the conviction in her voice. She hit send, and a rush of exhilaration followed. "Now we wait," she said, but she realized as she spoke the words that waiting didn't feel quite as daunting anymore. A few moments later, her phone buzzed again. This time it was a new message. Her heart raced as she opened it, excitement and dread intermingling anew. What was next? Setting her phone down, she turned to Tom and Lily with a grin. "No matter what happens, I'm proud of what we created together today." "Exactly. A happy pancake world," Lily exclaimed, giggling as she twirled in joy, but just as Sarah was about to bask in this warmth, her phone buzzed once more. She picked it up, and her eyes widened at the response lighting up the screen. "Could we schedule a call to discuss the details?" Chills ran down her spine. This was it, the doorway opening, or was it just another hurdle? The weight of the world suddenly felt lighter, yet fear crept back. "Mom, what does this mean?" Lily asked, her innocence sparking the doubts again. "It means, it's just the beginning," Sarah replied, her voice steady but her heart racing. But deep down, she questioned if she could truly embrace this change. What would come next in this wild journey of art and self-discovery? As the night deepened, a familiar sense of anticipation swirled within her. This was merely a chapter, and she was eager to see how it would unfold. But would she muster the bravery to take that next step? The phone buzzed again, pulling Sarah away from her swirling thoughts. She glanced at the screen, and her breath caught. The gallery had responded. "We're impressed with your journey. Let us arrange a video call to discuss your vision and ideas further." A wave of exhilaration washed over her, intertwining with the familiar tremor of fear. Could this truly be the turning point she had longed for? All those fears of rejection and inadequacy rushed in like an unwelcome tide, nearly drowning out the spark of hope that had kindled within her that day. "Mom." Lily peeked over her shoulder, eyes wide with curiosity. "What's that?" "That's the gallery, sweetheart. They want to talk with me about my art." "For real?" Lily's face lit up like a firework, and Sarah felt her heart soften. "Oh. What if they say yes? But what if they don't?" The doubt danced on the tip of her tongue, ready to spill out. She didn't want to dampen Lily's excitement. But they were in the midst of reclaiming their dreams, why let fear overshadow their moment? "Hey, you know what?" Tom chimed in, his calm voice cutting through her apprehension. "Whether they say yes or no, you've already taken an enormous leap. Just think about how far you've come." She nodded slowly, the warmth of Tom's support resonating with her. He was right, she was already standing at the edge of a new beginning, the glimmers of a future painted in bright colors. Okay, let us just take it one step at a time. I'll set up the meeting and see where it leads. Yay! I want to help. Lily squealed, jumping in place. Can I be your assistant? You can make a big deal out of it, like art stars. Art stars, huh? Sarah chuckled, feeling her spirits lift. I think we can manage that. As they wrapped up their impromptu art session and prepared for bed, Sarah felt lighter. The day's joy and creativity had fused a warmth in her heart that she hadn't felt in years. The excitement of what lay ahead pulsed through her, echoing with every laugh and every mischief Lily stirred. Later that night, Sarah sat down at her kitchen table, her heart racing as she opened her laptop to arrange the call. The screen glowed softly, and for a moment, she paused. This was more than just a conversation about her art. It was about trusting herself again, about reclaiming her identity. It was about stepping outside the shadows that had cloaked her for so long. With a deep breath, she crafted her notes, recalling every heartfelt moment that had transpired: the laughter with Tom, the sparkle in Lily's eyes, the hopeful dreams of an artist wanting to be heard. Tomorrow would bring a new challenge, but she had made it this far. After all the moments of hesitation, doubt, and fear, she felt ready to take the plunge. The following morning, nerves buzzed like static in her body as she clicked join on the video call link. The gallery's representative greeted her with a smile, and she felt a washed-over warmth flood her chest. As they began to speak, Sarah shared not only her art but her story: struggles of motherhood, the beauty of family, and how she had fought to reclaim her creativity amidst it all. I see a real soul in your artwork, Sarah, the representative said, a spark in her eyes. Your stories resonate. That's where the magic lies. In that moment, something shifted inside her. The fears began to dissolve, replaced by an invigorating sense of purpose and clarity. Each word she spoke and each idea she shared felt as if they were unearthing buried treasures, helping her return to who she had always wanted to be. As the call ended, Sarah's heart raced, but it was no longer from fear. It was triumph. They discussed plans for an exhibition, and while she couldn't predict where it would lead, one thing was clear: she was stepping into the light, and nothing felt more exhilarating. Later that evening, as she watched Lily play with her clay creations, the weight of worry peeled away, and a new chapter unfolded before her. That familiar flicker of unburdened joy ignited her spirit anew. Hey, do you want to help me brainstorm ideas for our exhibition? She asked, her voice shining bright. Lily's eyes sparkled akin to the stars outside. Can we make a pancake theme? Sarah laughed, reaching for her phone to snap a picture of the moment. Yes. That's brilliant. In the weeks that followed, their laughter woven through late nights and early mornings fueled not just with pancakes but with hope and persistence. The colors brightened, and the dreams that had once felt unreachable began to take on new form. Sarah felt a beautiful sense of transformation within herself: the soft echo of her past, the vibrant connection with Tom, the laser focus on her goals. They held gems of possibility and daring adventure. She learned that sharing her art could spark joy, not just within her, but for those she loved too. As the exhibition day approached, there was one last element. Sarah needed a piece dedicated to the most important person that had inspired her throughout this journey. The canvas captured the essence of her love for Lily, the connection that had breathed life into her dreams again. On the day of the exhibition, nerves fluttered in her stomach, but they were feelings of anticipation and excitement. The room buzzed with guests, the artwork hung framed like jewels against the walls, and amidst it all stood Sarah, heart wide open. When the lights dimmed to reveal her masterpiece, she spotted Lily in the front row, beaming with pride. Look! That's my mom! She exclaimed to a friend, her voice bursting with joy, and in that very moment, with love radiating around her, Sarah realized that she had dared to leap into the unknown, and with every heartbeat, she knew she would keep leaping towards new dreams. You need to subscribe now to follow Sarah's inspiring journey and not miss even one exclusive story. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and keep hope alive. Comment below your thoughts and feelings about this powerful ending. It matters. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Together, we can spread the power of dreams and connection.